We bring it down, guys. Let's go ahead and prepare to dive in to the new year and the new campaign for this episode of Critical Role.
Boom. A.m. Oh wow, yeah, no, I screwed up. I tried to start this stream off before, and wow, it was terrible. Hello, Lone Wolf. Once again, I'm having issues with XSplit's audio functionality, so let me know if you can actually hear me or if the music is way too loud. The music might be way too loud right now. Critical Role here. Alright, so I have a Burger King troll here. Very dumb looking sculpt, green stuffed that up. I'll be showing that off in a video later.
And welcome back.
So first off, I think we're gonna paint this bad boy with some.
We've definitely returned to the table. Thank you, Sam. So.
It's just very frustrating because like I try to set up the music correctly.
Once before when we released our first other opening title sequence, our 50th. So we're gonna do this again. These are just people who who do so much and who do not get enough love. I'm gonna shout them out. Sean Becker, who's the unsung hero of Geek and Sundry, is our executive producer. TJ Rattel, he's like our production manager around here. He makes sure that we actually have like cameras. Maxwell James, our producer that makes this.
The Andalian Empire has slowly spread to encompass the surrounding societies of the reaches, absorbing the peoples of the Zembla
Military gray, field gray. So we're gonna want to go with
the Julius Dominion.
We're gonna paint this guy like he's Lord of the Rings troll.
Of Western Wynandir for the Empire.
Cause frankly,
no. This is
so probably military gray first, because he's already kind of got a dark gray undercoat. So military gray first, and we're kind of.
Most are left to their own
paint
devices.
his belly up.
You live as you did before. The crown only takes a tithe of what you produce and earn. You follow its laws, worship its gods, and bow to its installed local leadership. In return, denizens of the Empire are protected from the chaotic horrors and shattered evils that stalk the edges of civilized lands. This accord has led to a prosperous century for the Empire. Or at least the political elite. Tensions brew beneath the chafing watch of the Crown's Guard. Every temple is government-owned and run, and worship outside the approved idolatry is met with imprisonment. Rumors of military clashes at the eastern border near Xhorhas have many common folk on edge. Our story, however, begins much smaller. Here in the southern reaches of the Marrow Valley, beyond the entry gates of the Wuyun Gorge lies the small, rural town of Trostenwald. Bordering the blue waters of the Ustalok, this town came to prominence near the turn of this recent century, when the surrounding fertile farmlands were discovered to produce a unique type of grain and wheat, leading to a boom of breweries. When the glut subsided, 3 large families stood triumphant in the local business of fermented delights. Now Trostenwald thrives on their exports of... fish, crops, and
I was catching up on the second season of the Critical Role podcast.
Sleepy trade stop along the Amber Road, a handful of wandering destinies slowly begin to intersect. We begin in the early hours of the morning on the day of Grissin, in a messy room on the second floor of the nestled nook. A bleary-eyed, bruised man in a tattered coat slowly wakens from his lengthy sleep, catching his small, snoring ally curled at the foot of the bed. Liam, if you would like to describe your character, please.
Oh my god, no Wizard?
Yeah, I saw Yard's cast. I believe they played 4.0 a long time ago.
I'm pretty filthy. I have sort of a mess of reddish-brown hair and really filthy road clothes. I wear a long coat that I slept in. I slept about 20 hours last night. Geez, unshaven, a bit of a mess.
So far, you're just talking
What
about
color
current
are your
Liam right now.
I need visual.
They're blue.
There you
That's it. It was a rough day yesterday, and that's it.
All right. And your name?
Oh, Caleb. Caleb Widowguest.
All right. As your smaller friend curls awake, Sam, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah. I am a little goblin girl. I am a goblin. So, you know, the green skin, the green hair, the yellow eyes. And she wears not great clothes, just like her traveling companion there. She kind of hides in the shadows a lot because she knows goblins aren't kind of welcome in this part. And that's about it. I mean, she's a little skittish. and right now, she's probably stirring awake as well, right?
What's your name?
Oh, not the brave.
So Caleb, as you come to consciousness, you glance over and can see slowly snoring and rousing at about the same time. Not's eyes blink open, her kind of slowly groaning face looking over towards you.
Oh, you're finally awake, I see. Oh yeah, motherfuckers. It's on. You were out for quite some time there. Rough day, eh?
Not our best day, no.
No, I mean, usually you're so good at everything, but yesterday you were just... Maybe you needed the sleep, is what you needed.
Thank you.
Well, don't thank me yet. I should probably tell you what happened while you were asleep. I mean, you were asleep for so long, I got bored, frankly. I was going through my pack and reorganizing.
Has anybody seen you?
Well, I mean, many people. I got bored. You never slept that long, so I left. I went downstairs. I thought I'd do a bit of window shopping, and you know how sometimes I get the itch, you know?
I do. Did you make it back here okay at night?
I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I did. But I might have been spotted by a few of the Crown's Guard.
Okay. Did you have the mask on?
No, I didn't. But they didn't catch me, so.
Okay.
Listen, I'm sorry. Sometimes I get the urge. I've got to take something. You know, I was trying to replenish what you lost yesterday, and I failed.
Well, we discussed coming to a bigger town. It's going to be a little more difficult now. You can't go. It was easier on outskirts. It was easy in farms, but we can't do that here.
I know. I'm sorry. No, I know. You're right. Yep. It was. I just got a little bit, squiggly. That's all.
Okay. Well, I think today you should have the mask on at all times.
Yeah.
And,
good idea, Caleb.
Yeah. It's better when we're working together. If you need to steal something, do it with my help, all right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Back up the conversation a minute, thank you, because I would not be alive if you had not. You saved my life, so thank you.
No problem.
Yesterday was really not great.
Yeah, well, we'll do better today, right?
Sure we will. Are you hungry?
Oh, yeah, I'm starving.
At this point, you notice the gentle smell of cooked meats and the promises of mediocre porridge and eggs just barely begins to creep beneath the subtle floor of your room and meet your nostrils.
Well, what are we going to do today? I can go down and get breakfast and bring it up here. At least, I don't know. I mean, I'm a little wary of just splashing back into the town right away.
Let's go down and get some food. I'll come with you, because, as you said, we're better together. And we'll take it from there. You need some books and stuff, right?
Always.
All right, well, that's on the to-do list.
All right, well, let's get something to eat then.
All right, so you prepare yourself with your mask set over?
Yes, yeah. So I'm gonna put. I have a like a half a mask that kind of covers my goblin face, and with the hood over, kind of obscures. Maybe it's not a goblin. Maybe it's a little halfling person or something.
Yeah, which is helpful in the southern, more rural region of the empire, especially near Felderwin, which is one of the largest kind of tilling and farming areas of the entire empire. There's a very heavy halfling population. And so while this city is not the core of it, I'd say you probably see a larger 20 to 25% of the population here in Trostland.
Ranger
So
MacGyver.
you pass off pretty decently as long as you keep away from discerning intent eyes. So the two of you manage to gather your things for the time being, wander down the stairs from the top floor down to the base of the tavern. Which... the air is already bustling with townsfolk and all manner of travelers preparing to take on the day's responsibilities. Yorda, the 40-something woman barkeep with the shoulder-length blonde hair and weathered skin who you had previously rented your room at the inn from, frantically darts behind the bar while the red-headed barmaid rushes from table to table. It seems that the clientele is a bit more than they were expecting this morning. Yorda yells from behind the bar to the barkeep, "Adeline, 2 more brights and a bit of mush at the corner table." And she kind of looks like, "I'm working on it!" And she runs over and heads back to the kitchen. There's a faint bit of music as 2 kind of slovenly looking musicians in the corner are trying to work for tips with a small hat on the floor that looks like nobody's thrown any coin into it. But the tables are fairly busy, except for maybe 2 that appear to be available between the 2 of you guys, if you'd like to find a seat.
Okay. Sure. Is that easy to do, to find a seat?
Yeah, you walk over to it and you sit down.
Is this
It's a D&D words.
What do we roll for?
You sit down, and due to the chaos that ensues around you, it takes a little while for Adeline, the red-headed barmaid, to come by, and she kind of scoots by the table. "I'm terribly sorry. What can I get you?"
Meat if you have it, but if you don't, that's okay too. Potatoes, or if bacon if it's on the menu. But really anything.
I can get you all 3. It's fine. What you want?
A trust for each of us, please.
For breakfast?
Yes.
I like you. All right, 2 trusts and a bunch of meats. Be right back. And she rushes off. She kind of pulls her hair back and ties it as she goes into the kitchen, kind of getting ready for the midst of chaos. While you guys have a moment there at the table, you can hear conversation muttering around you, and you have a brief bit of privacy to discuss.
Yes, I need books. That's true. But did you find drink yesterday?
I have a little left in my flask.
How much?
Just a couple sweets.
So that's also on the to-do list, then, yeah?
I mean, if you don't want me to get too jittery, yeah.
All right. Okay. So we'll do that first. All right.
All right.
All right.
Short time passes before the 2 platters are rushed over and scattered across the front of your table with a clattering pile of meats there set for you. A little bit placed on the side because you might need, especially with the look on your face, Adeline kind of gives you a glance, goes, "Put something in your belly."
Thank you.
Comes back and slides 2 trusts to you.
Remove my little mask, and then just go.
I take the last piece.
As you guys are partway through your meal, let's see, Caleb. You notice out of the corner of your eye, a gentleman enter the door looking kind of meek. Middle age, looks work-hardened. He has kind of a heavy chin beard that is kind of unkept and a bit wild, but his eyes are warm. He's holding his hat in his grip, and he scans the room with an eager glance before his face brightens and begins to push his way across the room, kind of in your direction, it looks like.
Oh.
He scoots over towards your table, and as you're about to turn and kind of see what he's about,
Putting my hand on my purse.
he pivots to the table next to you instead. He turns to you three.
We've just been sitting here this whole time.
Yeah. You've met this man the day before, Ronaldo, the fisherman, who you had aided. And as he approaches, he goes, "You, might I sit, please?"
Of course, take a seat.
What's that?
And as he sits down in his chair, I would ask each of you to please describe yourselves, please, starting with you, Laura.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm just, you know, a little blue tiefling, that's all, with blue hair. And, you know, I'm wearing like a pretty cute dress, that's all. And, I'm having a good time, you know? We're just having a good time here at breakfast.
All right. And you?
Yeah. I'm, you know, simple girl, simple needs, just wearing like kind of nice baggy clothes, some monk vestiges. They're in kind of like nice blues and grays. You notice I have a blue sash around my belt. Got a nice shave kind of going on, little undercut. Looks like maybe I put on makeup like 2 days ago, and I'm like, yeah, it's still holding up. It's fine. I can work with that.
What's your name? What's your
Oh, we'll get to it.
Okay.
And thank you. And Travis, describe yourself, please.
Well, shoot.
I'm here too.
Oh, what?
I'm a half orc, sitting here in kind of beat up leathers. Have a big scar across my face.
Do.
Green skin tone, and kind of got some like piecemeal armor put together and stuff. But my name's Ford.
You're very handsome. I just need to tell you that.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Which, as Ronaldo sits down, clutching his hat still in his hand, says, "And I thank you for your time, Ford. And I apologize, I forget your names. Beauregard.
Jester.
Jester, thank
Yes.
you. You all came when no one else would yesterday, and because of you, my daughter is still alive.
Oh yeah, sorry kind of for being like a pessimistic asshole, by the way, when you first came into town.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm
We
not
live
used to
by
things
these
like
parts.
turning out good. So
You do well this side of the empire. Anyway, I won't keep you, but we spoke yesterday, and I didn't have much to give you, and sent you away with nothing but my gratitude. But I've been asking around the other fishermen in our lock span, and we've put together a little bit of coin for your troubles. So, and he turns his cap over onto the table, and this catches your attention. You hear this clattering of coin. Your eyes kind of glance over, especially you, Not, and watch as he beeps this pile of what looks to be mostly copper and silver pieces with a couple of glimmers of gold. And as soon as it like clatters across the hardwood table here in the center of the tavern, other faces begin to turn and kind of gather attention as to what's happening over here in the back edge. And he kind of takes his cap back and pushes it forward towards all of you. It's kind of dirty. You can see cracked and very, very calloused fingers kind of shoving it in your direction before taking his hat and placing it back over his head.
Did they
That's
all,
so cool.
those coins went all over the floor?
All over the table.
The table, okay.
I hope it's helpful, but thank you.
Yeah. No. Oh wait,
We can't accept this, right? I mean, it's too much.
we're supposed to like at least say that, right? And then like still accept it, right?
I think you're supposed to do it if you say it.
Well, I mean, he did go around to a bunch of people. That was a lot of work on his part. I would hate to make him go back to all of those people and give it back to each individual person.
Fine.
If he didn't keep a ledger, you know, we wouldn't.
Yeah, some of that,
Not to accept a gift, right?
some of the metal things, I believe they're called like, I don't know what those metal ones are called, but a bunch of them were on clearance at
Thank you very much.
Target.
I'm sorry.
So I got the
Sitting
Sagat
your way.
one
And he stands
and
up
a couple
and
others
gives you all a nod
I'm going to
and
try to do something
rushes
with.
out of the tavern, a little embarrassed by all the attention that's now placed on him by the other patrons. And as he leaves, everyone kind of goes back to their business. A couple of wandering eyes, just starting to count what coins are there as you slowly mitt them in your direction.
Oh, light it up.
Okay. How much?
It comes to, there are 4 gold pieces amongst the pile,
Okay.
22 silver, and 48 copper pieces.
Gold, 22 silver.
Can I clock
How many?
the room and see who else is
Copper?
watching their
Perception
count?
check. Huh?
How many copper?
48 copper.
Is this the
48.
first roll?
First roll of the campaign.
Oh, come on.
Natural 20.
And that's how you started. All right.
So I'm leaving it to you to do that counting, which is really hard for me personally. But there you go.
How do you split up 4 gold? We have 4 gold, and there's only 3 of us.
I don't know.
Well, I actually did pretty good at that card game, so you can have mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will. Okay.
So 2 for each of us. That's great.
Oh, that's a good 1 for you, 2 for me, 2. Oh wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
She's your treasurer?
This is gonna
No,
go
man.
great.
Okay.
Hey, man.
It's hard not being the treasurer.
I'll give 2 to Jester,
Sweet.
1 for you, 1 for me,
Thanks.
and then 22 silver. That's
Tell you what, you do that math while
you
it
guys
figures
got.
out.
Yes.
I'll let you know. You
While
guys
you're
go.
counting this out and figuring out the division of your gains, 4.
Nanofigs. They're also called
narrowing
nanofigs as
your
well.
Orcish eyes across
Yeah.
the room.
There's some interesting ones. Unfortunately, that mostly they're just
2
too
other
large
tables,
in
there are
scale. They're
some
not.
gentlemen who are peeking over, and as soon as they meet your gaze, they go right back to their business and completely shrink away. There are 2 gentlemen, or I'd say there's a man and a hooded figure at a table immediately adjacent to you. The man looks rather filthy, his hair a bit unkempt, and he's trying to just finish his drink. However, the smaller, kind of halfling-looking figure is just glaring intently and is slowly leaning in the direction of the table.
That's creepy. Fucking disgusting. God. I think we have people watching us.
Who's watching us?
Well, just take a look right over there.
Don't arouse suspicion, but did you hear all that coin hit that table, Caleb?
I did. It's on the table, though, so I think on the table it will stay.
Yes, but we could follow them out. We could do the money pot. We could run rat food. We could do Prince and the Pauper to get it from them. We could try spider eyes. Any of those could work
Are
to
you
get it.
guys staying here?
This blue-skinned tiefling suddenly leans over to a view of the table.
Don't move.
7 silver
Don't-
for you.
Don't move. Tieflings can only see movement.
And 16 copper.
I don't think
It's
that's
very
true.
true. We have a hard time seeing things that aren't moving. It's very true. But I can hear you. You should take a bath. You know they have showers here. It's possible.
What now?
You bathe yourself in water.
No, I've bathed before. Yeah, I know what a bath
Because you
is.
smell really bad and it's wafting over this direction. I'm just letting you know. I would hate if I smelled that bad and someone didn't tell me. You know?
I have only just met you.
Hi, I'm Jester.
Hi, I'm Caleb.
Nice to meet you, Caleb. How much silver did I just get?
7.
Woo!
And 16 copper. Aren't you all jealous?
Morning.
Morning.
Make a perception check, Beauregard and Jester.
Oh.
Okay. Hang on, I have to put my.
Whoa!
Are you checking your D&D Beyond specs?
I am. I'm adding my gold and my.
22.
It's very important. And
I haven't even flipped over my character sheet yet.
Oh man.
This is crazy.
19.
Okay.
I'm flipping.
The somewhat meek female halfling who is now suddenly very reserved and not as filthy as the human compatriot that she keeps, seems less and less halfling the more you glance in her direction. The ears are folded inward but elongated, the tinges of green to the skin, and with the little words that have poked through her lips, you can see what appear to be teeth more jagged than expected of the half-folk.
I just shout over and I say, "Good morning," in halfling.
I know halfling, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll shout back. top of the morning to you.
Would you like a coffee? Seems like I'd love to buy a coffee.
We've got free coffee. Yep. I'll take it. Sure. Thank you.
Being mighty fucking friendly, they were looking at our coin.
Why couldn't they have been looking at me? Maybe they were looking at me.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Maybe they were looking at you.
I don't
As
wanna think of
Jester said, you're handsome.
Just,
Yes.
not.
He said jest.
I just thought you said my name is all.
Oh, I said your name.
Oh.
Oh, they might have said your name too.
Never mind.
I don't
never
know.
mind. Good. Could I get another trust over here,
This is not
please?
looking that bad.
Please right away.
Eventually, Adeline comes by and brings 2 fresh tross to the table and kind of glancing about at the unique tension in the air right here. Would you like anything as well?
Oh yes. Lots of baked goods if you have them, please.
Pork belly if you have it.
I don't think I've seen you eat anything other than pastries.
I really like them.
I'm kind of concerned for your well-being. It's fine. I'm not that concerned. Eat whatever you want.
Thank you.
I'll have a bacon, some, whatever.
All right, pork it is. I'll be right back. She rushes off to the kitchen. You guys just continue to awkwardly stare at each other.
I'm gonna put my hand up and say quietly to Not, the money pot is not for them. It's not for them, it's for farmers. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Not these 3.
Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah.
Did we notice some whispering?
With your perception rolls earlier, yes.
But I said it
Don't-
really quietly.
She rolled a 22.
But she can hear my little whisper. I mean, I
No,
did-
you heard the whisper. You're not sure what the words are.
Okay.
You
But I can see that
you can
they're
see that they're
definitely whispering
being,
about us.
being
Yes.
mysterious.
Okay, cool.
In halfling, I'll say to whatever Bo.
Bo.
Uh,
Bo for sure. It works.
Are you in town for business or pleasure?
Can I inside check him? See what he's hiding?
Make an insight check.
Okay. Oh my god. What's my
What is he saying? What? I mean, you are a girl. What are she saying? Shit. That's really hard to remember now.
You're asking me what I'm saying.
Yeah, what did you just say?
13.
13? I mean, seems to be genuine. Hard to read through all the wrappings, shadow, and the hood still obscuring the face.
Are you cold?
Are you at the? Do you have the mask on right now?
I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's this kind of porcelain covering that has painted lips, and it's a little
really cool.
It's a little unsettling.
I mean, I'm sorry not to be blunt, but you know, it's pretty obvious goblins are not welcome strolling about.
She's a goblin.
Yeah, but you don't have to make a big thing of it, all right? There could be people who don't.
No, that's right. She's my companion. She's my friend. There's nothing to make a big deal about. That's why she's wrapped up. Just leave it, please.
I didn't ask why she was wrapped up.
I know. We're not making a big deal out of it. You're making a big deal out of it.
Somebody asked why
No,
she was wrapped
nobody
up.
asked.
Somebody said the words, this is Liam. Why are you all wrapped up?
Oh.
No, oh, I asked if she was cold.
That's concern.
She had a hood.
That's
and
concern.
As Caleb finishes oversharing,
That's like it's over. It's so over.
Those old times, man. There was a different universe, different life.
That was Earth 3.
at this point, there is a bit of a commotion towards the entrance of the tavern. 2 shadows step into the doorway of the nearish noonday sun. The figures, one kind of eclipsing the other from behind, begin to step in. You notice one of them begins to step from table to table, kind of glancing about with a sort of grace to the movement. The other staying a few feet behind. Tell us if you'd like to describe your character, please.
Oh, wait, what?
Why did you hit me so soon? I know.
Neither did I.
Didn't either.
But here we are. A damn it, Travis. A lavender tiefling with red eyes and curled, very pierced, extremely ostentatious horns that are just pierced with little gems and little baubles. He's got a tattoo that seems to be running up the side of his face, a kind of peacock tattoo that goes off into his very ostentatious, ridiculous, overblown robes that he wears, and his 2 swords and pouch dangling at the side of his hips. He's very, very broad in his dress.
So literal and figurative peacock.
Oh yes.
One of your characters? No.
I know. Mine. Who knew?
And as this tiefling darts from table to table, a few feet behind, you see.
Wait, did you say your name?
No, I didn't say my name.
No, it hasn't come up.
Okay, so there is a woman behind him, taller than your average lass. She's very, very, very pale skin. She has, her hair is black that starts to turn white as it gets longer. It's matted, it's threaded, it's braided. Her clothes are a bit tattered, but just sort of, she's a bit of a mess. And she has 2 different color eyes. One of them is sort of a light greenish blue, and the other is a violet color. And she's very sort of, very standoffish, hunchy, arms folded.
You watch as these figures slowly move from table to table, the tiefling engaging in some distant conversation, and then leaving a slip of paper, and then walking to the next table, gauging the atmosphere, not leaving a slip of paper, and quickly moving on, and then eventually your eyes meet what looks to be 2 tables with a very motley crew of individuals that are both kind of awkwardly avoiding their own tension and currently trying to figure you out.
Can I tell where are they in the dispensement of the coin? Can I tell they have a little coin on them? Did I catch any of that?
They've completed distributing it, so you don't see any coin, unfortunately.
Well,
because this is a $5 webcam and it just doesn't look
time
that
for
good,
my
so I
entire
decided to leave it in black and white.
Molly Tiefling of the Fletchling and Moondrop Traveling Carnival of Curiosities. If there was ever a group of people that needed a good time to go out, have a laugh, see things that you have never seen before, and my God, take my word for it, 1 month's time, people will be buying your ale to hear the tale of what you saw at the Traveling Carnival of Curiosities this night.
We saw your tent going up.
You did.
We did.
We were actually gonna go without the flyer,
Yeah.
but like, now we also have a flyer.
It's just 5 copper. At steel, it's 5 silver. It would be a steal. 5 gold, worth every penny. But if you've got the 5 copper to spend, we would happily have you all.
Oh,
Oh shit.
do you perform?
I'm less of a performer and more of an intermediary for these parts. I do on occasion perform. I can read fortunes on occasion.
I was going to ask if you read fortunes. Can you do one now?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Oh my gosh, you're so smart.
That's what they told me.
Look at this guy. He knows everything.
I don't think.
I'm going to sit down at the table.
Okay. He goes and sits down at this table, finishing his presentation. One of the barmaids kind of comes up to you and kind of looks up. You standing almost a solid 7 inches taller than her. As Adeline goes, miss, can I get you a drink?
Yes, can I have a drink, please? Just some ale.
Coming right up. Any preferences for the families? Bombach?
Stay clear of Bombach. They're dicks.
It's kind of true.
Just a big.
Husseldorf then.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back. And she wanders off.
Well, who has coin for a fortune?
Do you know my name?
What is your name?
Jester.
I know your name now.
What is your name?
Oh, my name is Molly to my friends, and we're friends now, aren't we? Oh, pleasure.
Molly?
Molly. Look at this guy.
Molly Mock, Molly for short. This is Yasha, she's the charm.
Hi, Yasha.
Yasha.
Hello.
Yasha.
Now, would anyone like a fortune read?
I would love one.
Do you have coin?
Yes. How much do you want?
2 copper.
2 copper. Okay, I just got some copper. Here you go.
Yeah, I was gonna listen to the first episode of the new season, see if that would annoy anybody or not.
Taking this in. All right. I I'm going to try and do this.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, really?
You doing something?
So, as he pulls out a small set of cards and begins to shuffle them at the table. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
He's really quite good. You all should line up and get your fortunes told.
Let's do a 16 there.
Okay, so you get just the brief conversation here. You get a pretty solid read to the excitability, the eagerness, the exorbitant interest in just getting in your face that this person wants. Any fortune you tell would probably suffice. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check as well.
Look at this fucking game.
Also 16.
Whoa.
Yeah, and you feel pretty confident that her eyes are locked onto your eyes at the moment and not the deck as you set up a proper reading. And the cards are shuffled, they're set, you place them before you, and you may give your fortune.
I'm gonna just keep my eyes open for any tricks of the hand, sleight of hand each type trick.
Make a perception check.
Okay. Perception. 14.
14. All right. Everything seems pretty above board.
Oh. Your first card, the Silver Dragon. This is good. You're pure. You're of virtue. You are a worthwhile and wonderful human being, obviously, or creature of some repute.
That's what everyone always tells me.
That's true. And heading towards the anvil.
What is that?
And is a destiny forged. There's something bright and adventurous in your future.
Wow.
Well,
You know,
I have
we
not been
just
doing
defeated
too
a
bad
really
this
big
year in
snake,
regards to
So maybe there's even bigger things coming up.
subscribers
make
and
another
stuff.
roll?
So just need to
Actually,
try to have some
confirmed
better
worst type
content
man.
out there.
19.
Yeah, easy enough. Even discerning eyes at the table.
think?
You are at the top of your game.
The serpent card appears. Of course you did.
Oh my gosh! Look at that! How did you even do
There.
that?
I saw the cards. I was just simply a vessel of higher powers.
Yeah. While everybody's watching this shit happen.
Well, shoot, I had the
may
little card that
cast,
went with this.
detect
This is a Burger King mini,
You
which
mentioned
is a
you
Burger King
leaned
toy,
back and
which
settled
I
into
found
brief
at
muttering
a
incantation, your
thrift
fingers
shop.
wash through the air with a faint silver gleam across your fingertips.
So if you'll notice,
Nothing
there's some
magical
noticeable
shows up
green
in the
stuff where I have to fill in some of the stuff.
You asked
I cut
the
him,
cards if I'm going to find them.
He came on a light up base, but obviously that didn't work because it had been sitting there for such a long time. The batteries had obviously died.
Give me a little bit more.
Whatnot.
Who is this him that you're looking for?
I'm looking for my dad.
14?
You fumble for a second, but the card still finds its way through without issue.
Pushing through,
Okay,
pushing through. The eye card pulls up. You've already found the clue you're looking for, you just don't know what it is yet.
Really?
Apparently. That's what the cards are saying.
Oh, wow.
It's right in front of you.
So
Say how
face
long
isn't that
ago
bad.
I found it? 'Cause
And as you can
that's-
see,
Sadly, I don't
the
have
green
that sort of
stuff that I did on his
specifics.
arm here wasn't as good, so you can kind of tell this is a toy.
Well, you find us.
And the neck, obviously, I
At
had
the
to
show,
work some
you'll
green
find my
stuff
tent,
in.
and I'm
But
happy to give you a
that
more
doesn't look so. I did a really good job on the neck, I think. You can't tell that there was a
So much
gap
fun.
there.
Gotcha, at this point,
Because there was a
Barb
big gap on the neck,
hands you
but you really can't tell.
the ordered ale.
This was during the. Oh boy, I don't even know. Burger King toys. See, I don't even know where I put that thing. I had the thing up and I was going to show
No.
the little paperwork
I do
thing
not.
that came with
I
this,
just,
but yeah.
I put it up.
Alright, so I'm going to put some more
Yeah.
strong tone ink on this. Now we're working with a wet palette. I've just discovered you can't actually use inks on it because the ink just kind of goes everywhere, so
But I don't do
I gotta
anything.
put the
Some of our acts are a little
Put the-
complicated with performers who are not the traditional variety can make some of the locals get a little shifty, if you know, and it's good to have a few people around who are capable of keeping issues contained.
Yeah, is that why it
frighten
says
people.
no admittance to the elderly?
I'm gonna use this
Or
guys
the
for a
elders,
rock
or the
troll.
elderly.
Ill.
Or the
I was
ill,
considering briefly
yeah.
painting him up
Well,
as
you know, elderly
a ice
really
troll
kinda makes
elder,
sense, but elderly.
but I think this
Cannot be
guy's
held
just gonna be a
responsible
rock
for anything
troll.
that may happen to someone who's ill or infirmed. It is such a exciting, impressive show.
We've had people die watching it.
Really?
Yeah,
Just
it's
from
that
excitement?
exciting. Just from excitement.
Wait, they died in the show or from watching?
Yeah, just like heart attack.
Wow.
Just from getting so
It
excited,
can be
I
a
guess.
lot.
Oh man,
Right, fire.
we gotta get so wasted.
When is it How long is it? When is it?
Well, it is actually the day of Grissom, and your first show is tonight.
His first show is tonight.
Well, we have plans tonight.
Hey.
Do you stinky people want to come with us?
Kaylee, we don't have any plans tonight. I guess we could go along. I wouldn't mind seeing.
It'll be fun.
Or you could stay here and buy beer for the people who do see the show so that you can hear all about it and pay more.
Yeah, we can go.
This is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a good night. Yeah.
Look at all these friends we're making here. This is a good city.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you are all the most charming people I've met in, yes, I finished my beer. Well, we better be getting on.
Yep, nice to meet you. Oh, you're so wonderful.
Charm, pure charm. See you tonight!
And as they get up and leave you, Yasha just downs her entire ale, slams on the table, and both of them walk out, passing a couple more flyers at off tables, and then exit out into the rest of the day's sun beyond your sight.
She was awesome.
She didn't say much.
That's why I liked her.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Did you see that cool thing she had going on her chin? That was interesting. I wish I would have thought of something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could maybe do something like that in time. Just like wait till maybe.
She doesn't know that I'm copying. I can't do it tonight.
No.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, see, I like the little details on this. It's not a bad miniature at all. Well, it's not a miniature; it's a toy. It's not a bad. It's got pretty good details.
Are you? You're superstitious. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, not superstitious at all.
Sure.
Why?
I mean, like kind of what he was working in was kind of like he was kind of doing a little shit. Like
It's not bad.
He's a smart guy.
By the way,
He's a
did
smart
you open
guy.
your Christmas present for me?
No, not yet, no.
You should go open it, like as
Right
it's
now? Okay,
yes.
I'll be right back.
Go grab the bag.
I'll
no,
do,
but I'm
I'll do it on the
serious.
break. I'll get it on the break.
All right.
Hey, Matt.
Yes?
Dungeon Master.
Oh no.
Are they're wearing what they described? They're not wearing any cloaks or anything right now, are they?
She has a small. Actually, both of them have small cloaks, kind of over the shoulders.
Do I recognize those cloaks?
No, you do not.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Why would you recognize the cloaks?
Maybe I saw something. I don't know.
What?
No.
I didn't see them last night?
No.
Okay.
What?
Okay, interesting.
Mysteries.
No, I mean, like, for this thing, I don't think there's any point in, like, saying that I'm gonna do this.
Magic about that. Maybe he's good at reading people, but that was not magic.
Oh,
How do you know?
Caleb knows everything about magic. He's been even teaching me some. He's real good. You should see him. He can.
No.
Caleb, are you going to go to the academy?
That's silly.
Why?
He could if he wanted to. He's really good at magic. He can make a cat appear and disappear whenever he wants.
Really?
Yeah.
True.
A cat?
You watch as just beneath the table, this kind of orange, kind of patchy tabby kind of leaps up onto the. Begins to move.
Oh shit! What's his name?
Oh,
Or her name?
well, it is a he.
Okay.
This is my cat Frumpkin.
Frumpkin.
Frumpkin, yes.
Oh, can I call him Lumpy?
You can call him Frumpkin.
Look at this Lumpy!
Oh.
Made in England.
It was a little short gift from Marisha, so this is Frumpkin. He's here.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not all he can do. Caleb, tell him all the stuff you can do. It's
You know
really
why?
impressive.
Sometimes less is more.
I can do things too.
With magic?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like,
Not to me, not to me.
like, oh gosh. Okay.
Actually, these both.
I'm going to use thaumaturgy, and I'm going to make all the windows in the place like open up really fast, like crash open.
Okay, you watch as 4 of the nearby windows slam open with a sudden burst of wind, and all the various bits of torchlight that light the deeper, kind of more shadowed corners of the room suddenly darken and flicker. The music suddenly comes to a stop.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the color scheme. I
Holds
think I
up
want to
position
try to
and glances
do
over at the
just
table
like,
where
you
you're all
know,
sitting.
kind of cartoony green and purple on these. These are from some random toy, and I broke them off. I got the toy in the Goodwill by the pound, so I broke off the tentacles. They were all like empty, and they had huge gaps in it, so I just used a quick hot glue to fill them.
Yeah!
So I'm just trying to...
Yeah!
Come see me tonight at the carnival. I'm really good.
One really crotchety looking guy in his like early 50s with a super underbite, probably missing most of his teeth, just goes.
I tell telepathically tell Frumpkin to jump up and sit in the lap of the woman in the monk's robes who just made a big scene and hopefully keep you occupied with being kicked.
Okay, as soon as you sit down, Pumpkin leaps into your lap and starts like purring and rubbing up against your hand.
Hey, buddy. Oh. Look at this guinea.
I think he likes me.
For sure, right now.
Is this a real cat or is this like a fake cat?
What do you mean a fake cat?
Like a magic cat.
It's both a real cat and a magic cat.
Is he an illusion cat?
Beep. Do you feel him?
Could you put him over there?
Are you allergic to pumpkins?
Little, just cats.
Oh no!
But he's a magic cat. How can you be allergic to magic cat?
I'm pretty sure he's a real fucking cat.
He's one of those hyperallergenic magic cats.
I mean,
I don't know what the 5th edition rules are for.
For allergens?
as far as you know right now, yeah, he's having an actual allergic attack. A minor one, but.
I walk away a little bit from Ford.
Okay.
Well, you're both magic users then?
Yeah.
And so really is the larger fellow?
Well, a little.
Yeah. I mean, he's learning. He's getting really good at it.
I'm trying to learn more.
Yeah. You should have seen him. He disguised himself the other day, and it was like.
Thanks, Chester.
Yeah.
She's better at it than I am. We're trying to make our way up to the academy to, get a little bit more learning done.
Well, he's going to learn. I'm not going to go to the academy.
Yeah, this academy place kind of keeps getting brought up.
Well, yeah, it's the place to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you.
What's what? I'm sorry, what academy are we talking about?
Solstice Academy, you know.
The what? Solstice?
Soltris.
Solstice.
Yeah, that one.
Soul Train Academy.
Yeah, that one.
It's a very fancy place.
You
They
know.
teach you magic.
I have heard of it.
And you have arcane talents as well.
Yeah.
Why?
How long have you had yours?
That's a tricky question. I studied when I was younger, and then I gave it up for a while. I've picked it up again recently, so it's all book learned though.
Wow, that's cool.
This was a good way to go for your first, like,
A freaking cat.
cat. This is kind of therapeutic. It's kind of making me feel better. Just about life in general.
He reads lots of books, Caleb does. He's very smart. In fact, should we go looking for more right now?
In a little while.
Can I see one of your books?
Well, and I sort of pull apart the lapels of my coats. I have a book in what modern day people might think of as holster straps, but there's a book hanging here, and a book hanging here.
Ancient people would call it a holster as well.
Yeah, big eye cats. Bap, bap, bap. The books are right here. I have these, but these are family heirlooms, so I don't share those. But no, I like to read. That's all. Okay. And I'm a bit of a self-starter, so.
Well, if I have anything that's like really super interesting to live stream, then I'll definitely, promote it and stuff. We'll have more people there.
Do you know anything about it? I mean,
but for stuff like this, I mean, it's just really me kind of throwing together something in the last minute and dealing with technical issues. And then, I was supposed to start streaming at midnight, and it took until like another 2 hours. So yeah.
No.
We had more.
But then we lost it. But then
Somebody
we got
has
it back.
a gambling problem.
Oh, which one?
What's the name of it again?
It is the
Queen.
Crick Queen's Call.
Crick Queen's Call. Have you played it?
No, I haven't.
Don't.
I'll teach you someday. It's so much fun.
It's a game?
Yeah.
Cards?
Yeah.
All right. I might like to know that.
I mean, I can teach you if you want.
Yes, I would like to know that, yes.
Okay. I'll deal.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, sure. This will be
Is
fun.
okay?
Listen, I would not be sitting here if not for you. Do whatever you want to do.
Okay, it's 3. You draw 3 cards. Well, I give you 3 cards. So you'd use 3 d6s.
3 d6s?
Yeah.
Got 1.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not you. I have 1 of each dice.
Okay. So hide your roll from me because we can't know. Okay. So first you have to ante up. How much coin do you want to put in?
I'm out.
No, it's all right. I will front some coin for you to play this
Oh,
game.
great. How much do you want to front him?
I will give him. I will give you a silver piece.
A silver. Okay, this is great.
Thank you, Caleb.
Okay, I put the silver
I
down
wish
too.
I had more.
Okay. Am I doing this right?
So far.
Okay. Now I'm going to give us 3 cards. So we both roll. But we can't see.
Alright, should have had it in
Okay.
between one.
Don't say that's good. You gotta
Oh,
bluff.
I'm bluffing.
Bluff. Yeah.
How do you know I wasn't?
She
Okay.
was
I'm gonna try to change one of my cards.
Also,
No, wait. There's rules.
Yeah, without you seeing.
Make a sleight of hand check.
12 plus 8, so that's 20.
Alright, I think I'm gonna do some turquoise. Yeah, I kind of want to do some more content talking about D&D.
This is really hard, Sam.
There was that Reddit post about the
This is my only skill,
Edgy
guys.
Tim character thing, where they're talking about how sometimes
But you know, that's my skill too.
Oh shit!
So I'm gonna try.
they were talking about how D&D, basically,
What would you roll for?
I did not notice him doing it.
basically they were talking about how D&D kind of, if you have a DM, it forces you to sometimes play a character that's just an edgy jackass because some modern day DMs just don't want to. If you have any kind of backstory at all, the DM is going to actually use that against you. So then the only choice to actually have an efficient character in the game is to have this edgy character who is all dark and doesn't have any family and doesn't have any background, just hates everybody and stuff. And I actually ran into a very similar situation like that where I was trying to play a character who had faults, and my DM for that game just kept on punishing me like unrelentingly for playing a character and actually playing my stats and stuff. So it's a real shame. I mean, I might talk about stats as well because that looks okay. That looks a bit garish, but the turquoise I think looks good. Again, these are just like toys and stuff, so I don't really want to put like a ton of work into these. But I think the turquoise looks okay with the purple. But yeah, no, so I want to talk about stats, and I want to talk about, how DMs can sometimes force their character to play a certain sort of, force their players to play a certain sort of character. And it's how it's a real shame. Because that was one of the few Reddit articles that was actually interesting and brought something, viable up. And normally on most D&D Reddit sites, they don't bring up anything interesting, so.
Okay, yeah, so you get to re-roll one of the dice.
Okay.
Okay, so
For
I'm
free.
gonna try to re-roll one of my
I have
three
to take whatever it was?
Yeah? All right, so go ahead. So
re-roll
make a
mine.
sleight of hand check.
Oh, right.
Do I notice her?
We'll roll perception.
Nope.
Plus 5, 13. 13?
No.
Okay.
So you also get a free
Okay,
re-roll.
So now, so the best hand you can get is 3 of a kind. Then after that, it's a straight,
A straight, yes.
a high straight,
Mm-hmm.
then a low straight.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's if you get all evens or if you get all odds. And then it's 2 of a kind. And then it's nothing, it's just high card. Okay, but now we put in a second amount because you can up the ante and you get 1 more card. No, but wait.
What?
You can put in more money and then I deal you a different card. You get to give some cards back, a card back, and I deal you another card.
Should I? Caleb, do you have any more?
Because you saved my life yesterday, you may have 1 more silver piece.
1 more silver. Okay, I'll keep it low too because you're only doing the 1. So I only put in 1 silver too.
So it's a 4 silver pot currently.
Yes. And now give one of your dice back, whichever one you don't want, and roll it again.
So you get to re-roll.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
And you get to re-roll one as well.
I don't want to re-roll any.
Okay.
Okay. Now you show what you got, and we'll see who wins.
I got a pair of 4s.
I got 3 5s. So I
draw my short sword.
I immediately grapple him.
Make an athletics check. You make an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics?
That looks pretty good.
24.
I like that.
Oh, 14. Whoa.
So the female goblin draws a short sword. You reach out to grab, and she slips out of your grasp and is now holding the blade at the edge of the table.
You're cheating. Somehow you're cheating.
Not. That's fine. That's fine. She won the 2 silver. My 2 silver pieces. We'll just leave it at that. We don't. That's.
I'm sorry.
Races and stories
That's
and
okay.
stuff.
She's very jumpy sometimes.
sorry. I'm sorry.
You can understand. You know, we have been living in the woods.
Yeah,
for a
I've
long
had
time.
weird
Every time we come
luck
here,
lately. I
any
had
place like
actually
this,
7
they're
people at a
attacked,
game
jumped,
recently
followed, so I
at a
apologize.
meetup.com
I'm
D&D
sorry, I shouldn't
thing.
have done that.
And
I'm
then
sorry.
I've been having trouble like coordinating stuff
But I'm sorry.
because a lot of people play on Thursdays apparently. But yeah.
Why though? But I want it.
Your Laura is showing.
Tell you what, I'll give you none of it back. I can't. That's no. Okay,
No,
here's one
I
silver
insist.
back.
I
Really?
insist.
Okay, but I insist all the way back.
I
And then
insist.
okay, all right, fine. It's mine. Thank you. Yay.
I need another drink.
A round of trusts for both our tables, please.
See, isn't that the most fun?
It's fun.
Yorda looks over and goes, any preference of family?
Not Buchbaum.
On brand it is.
I'm impressed that you stuck to taking a guy's money in a training game.
Right?
That's.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that bad?
Well, you know.
Oh. Well, I only learned like last night, you guys.
What is a training game?
Just meaning when she was teaching. her
People
the-
took
her the
my
game.
money when I was learning.
It's fine. It's water under the bridge. It's fine. It's all right.
Another round is brought to your table. So
Now I feel
you guys
bad.
can share a solemn post-game drink amongst
You
yourselves.
can feel slightly worse. That's a drink on me.
Oh, jeez, now I'm definitely giving you your 2 silver back. Don't worry about it, man.
She's just a couple of wild and crazy guys over there.
Yes. Have my baked goods come out yet?
They have.
Okay.
Your meal's been presented for a while now. You've had the opportunity to eat most of your meal. That is actually. That's the power of imagination, Sam. That wasn't there a second ago.
Bangarang.
Right there for you.
So you all finish your independent meals and can decide to continue your conversations or go about your business for the day.
I just want to go to the carnival.
That's later tonight, though, isn't it?
No.
If you have no other business, you can wait until dusk.
Well, there's that board on the wall. Has anything new been posted on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead and take a look at it. There is one sheet that pertains to somebody in the Hills Ward looking for folks to go ahead and do an extermination run near the southern portion of the Ustalok. It looks like there's what looks to be a vole infestation.
Fucking the vole.
It's like
It's a
a
small rat.
Just a rodent that digs.
Should we do it?
I mean, we have to go kill rats or rodents of your
Oh,
regular.
that sounds interesting to me at all.
What else is there?
Currently, it looks like there was another sheet that looks like most of it's been torn off. The rest of the board is pretty empty at the moment.
DM, did I tear that? I can't remember.
You did, yes.
I can't remember.
Wasn't it a delivery thing?
It
Yeah,
was-
that was
yes.
what it was.
Yeah, it was to help move and load crates at one of the local breweries.
We've done that. It sucked so much.
Yeah.
You did that?
Well, my mistake.
We played D&D and we moved crates for 8 hours.
We did. Yeah.
Welcome to level 2.
We said no. We said no to that job. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, we get bored pretty easily.
Yeah.
We did, however, than gamble with the other workers, and then Jester.
More money.
Yeah.
Well, I lost
Jester
it, but he made so much.
made a lot of money. Yeah.
Maybe not out loud say that, just a thought.
Oh, that's right. We probably shouldn't. We didn't make any money.
Well, you guys want company? Do you want us to come and hang out with you today?
I don't know about that. That sounds risky. I don't know.
Do you know something?
Yeah. What?
I shockingly think that's not a bad idea.
To have these weirdos with us?
I can hear you.
Yesterday was a very bad day.
Yes.
And
Well, I suppose if we surrounded ourselves with weirdos, then maybe it would take some of the heat off of me.
well, yes, bottom line, can you hang with the goblin?
Bottom line, and I touch Not's shoulder, and I cast Blessing of the Trickster.
Oh, Jesus.
She's gonna kill me
right now. Any magic kills a goblin instantly? Yeah, instantly.
That would be the worst. The worst character choice ever.
Yeah, it is 3:30 a.m. here. Oh, this took me so long.
Perfect. All right.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a slight sense of kind of warmth that emanates from under. Her
And I really
hand.
don't know if I want to
You
do much
look
more on
over
this
and
guy.
glance instinctively,
I mean,
ready to almost draw your sword
focus.
again.
I mean, for
but
a
it
Burger
seems
King
to
miniature, I think this is
quicken
about
reflexes.
the
Kind of
nicest it's
surge
going to
of
look.
adrenaline that doesn't quite fit.
And
You
the
have
face turned out
advantage on all your
okay.
stealth checks.
I could try to do
Good
different
shower.
things.
Thank you.
And
That's very nice.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with goblins, but you guys aren't any.
yeah, I think he looks pretty good.
No one's after you.
Because she is like all kinds of.
No one is.
I really
after
like
me.
the I really like the Vallejo color. I don't know. For some reason, I really like this brown. It just sticks out. It just looks neat.
13.
Do I roll?
If you want to go ahead
I should
and
probably
try
do something
and
different with the
widen
club. But again, this is just a stupid Burger King model, so
That's a 14 accepts.
you shouldn't waste so much time
-3
doing
to
this.
performance.
I've been here for like over an hour messing around with this stuff.
I've been waiting for this for so long.
So that's an 11.
So, are you lying?
I am lying. I am definitely on the run from someone.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Is so.
What's this?
The mask. Oh, I'm just fascinated by the mask. Looks well made. Did you make it?
That's a good fucking question. Did I make this? I don't make things.
No, I presume, and we discussed this a little bit, we presume it may have been scavenged from a porcelain doll.
Oh, that's cool
Neato.
and gross.
Yeah.
Cool and
It's
gross.
like, what's her name? What's her name? The creepy doll.
the
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Annabelle. Oh yeah. No, don't say that. I don't want to see art with you with Annabelle face.
Too late.
The internet's running with that
Check
now.
your Twitter.
And it's there.
It seems we have all day. What were your plans?
Not much. We were going to sample the trusts, the different trusts, and I wanted
This,
to maybe do some book
Wow,
crafts.
this water's
Nothing
looking
major.
delicious. Look at that.
Brewery tour!
I'm gonna get sleepy. I'm gonna start drinking that delicious grape water there.
What happened with the bomb box?
So
There's two
yeah.
others to choose from here.
Yeah.
They're who we loaded crates for.
Boom,
And then we
boom, boom.
kind of swindled their
Police sort of
employees.
stole
Didn't leave on the
Yeah.
best of terms.
No.
Yeah,
Which one is the-
that's not as bad. I thought I did a really
one
terrible
everybody
job with the
knows
green
has got
stuff
the blessing
there,
of Frida
but you
Lana
can't really
and,
tell. So that's
That's
good.
No, that is actually the bomb box. Yeah.
I think that
Yeah, the
I think that's
Star
done
Wars,
because
is
it
kinda
is
tied.
a Burger King toy,
Right.
and I don't think I want to put like a huge amount of effort into it.
Those
are the people that we've
I'm just
become.
saying the one that you
Should,
swindled
get
is
one of
like
these.
that's the blessing of.
Now, do I want to wait up a little bit longer and actually do?
Well, why do you need it?
2017.
It's just pleasurable to have a trust. is
Just
what they
really
say.
late.
She kind of needs it,
I
but
need it. I need it a little bit.
You need beer.
Calms. Well, I prefer the harder stuff, but I'll take what I can get at this point.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sticking with this fucking accent for the next 2 years.
Laryngitis every Friday.
Oh
my god. That's so great.
Cool,
So,
right? Beer tour than circus.
But I gotta say, I just, I miss those two people we ran into for the carnival.
I might just wait for the carnival.
If we just,
I'm gonna paint the bases a
montage
simple
through the
dark
beer
blue.
tour, we'll quickly
dark
get
blue
to
to
the,
work.
the circus.
Yeah.
To the carnival.
We can totally do that.
Can't we just bring my book browsing down to like a single roll to see if anything of use?
Yeah, we can do that. We'll say if you guys decide to go ahead and travel, the 5 of you, you make your way through the town for the day. You coast around the Husseldorf family brewery. You meet Voss and June, who are the 2 very nice ladies who run the facility. Of the Husseldorf family.
Okay.
You avoid the Bombach.
And now I always forget which one
but can
these I
acquire
just painted.
Bombach ale from
This
the
is
other
still wet.
taverns
That is
in the town,
definitely
of
still
course.
wet.
And the Von Brent family brewery. All of them, as soon as you say Trost, they correct you and say the family name. There seems to be, they're very intent on getting rid of the name of Trost as an overall discussion of Trost brand brews and trying to make their family name. Like, there's an offense to the point where you're like, oh, Jesus, I didn't realize.
Kleenex and tissue paper?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
But you managed to get nice and sauced throughout the day.
I take it easy. I have one more in the first half of the day and one in the second half of the day.
I don't have very much either.
Okay.
I'm gonna have tons.
I get sauced.
All right. Well, that being the case.
Oh, and these for
Make a
bases.
Constitution saving throw.
Well, that was crazy.
Where do you purchase your paints? Well, I purchased the bulk of my paints, which I don't recommend doing on clearance on Miniature Market, which means the vast majority of my paints are super old and cracky and horrible. So yeah, clearance paints, never a good idea. You can usually find them at a decent price, either with a deal on Amazon for Army Paint or Reaper paints, or you can. I got all my Reaper paints on clearance and cheap price at
For your trip,
on
you wanted to head
basically
to the Hillsby
Miniature Market when they're on clearance and stuff. But I mean, they're all old and stuff, so I mean, you're gonna lose a lot of your paint if you buy old paint like I did. But yeah, no, I just bought them super cheap. Yeah, the cheap stuff in the craft stores is really nice. You'll have to water down the vast majority of it, but yeah, no, the apple barrel stuff, all that stuff is okay, especially if you're doing stuff like this. I probably shouldn't be wasting Reaper paint on stuff like this, but like I said, the Reaper paint that I own is all super old stuff, so I'm gonna have to get rid of it this year before it's gonna probably, most of it's gonna probably go bad within the next couple of years. So I'm trying to use it up before it all dries out and goes bad. So that's why I'm using Reaper paint on cheap toys like this, where normally you would want to use the acrylic crafting paints. And I have a bunch of those. Garage sales are a really good place to find stuff like that.
That talk about the what's called the
I like
Clovis
that.
comic.
That looks okay.
It's more of a
on the camera it looks bad because the two colors, but and when I'm looking at this in real life, it's definitely different enough. So yeah, but yeah, no, these were actually these are carpet discs, furniture discs. So this is all padded and it has soft layers of like stuff, and there's actually adhesive stuff here. But these are meant to be going underneath furniture and stuff like that, and I got these on clearance.
Anywhere else I could
super cheap.
Look into.
If you're looking for some sort of library, your best bet is to go to the Dash up north.
The Dash. Oh.
That's where the library of the Cobalt Soul resides. Sure, they have all the information you could hope for.
Yes.
Bit pricier to peruse their interior unless you have proper coverage, but. Unfortunately, if what we have isn't what you're looking for, I can't help you.
No, it's a fine selection, sorry. How much for this book on hoe technique?
No! Jameson's hoedown. Yes, quite. That will be 2 silver pieces.
Oh, I'm very embarrassed. I'm sorry. I gave away my last 2 silver
No, I
pieces.
gave it back to you, remember?
Here, I gave away my last 2 silver pieces. So maybe I can earn it back and come back later this week.
Please do. I will tell me to hold it for you.
Yes.
What's your name?
My name is Caleb Widogast.
Yes. All right. I will keep it here under the shelf. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Good day. Thank you.
Is this a big shop?
It's boutique. It's designed almost like a cross. There's 2 cross sections.
Reaper Bones are a good place to start experimenting with painting, though, because frankly, yeah, I mean,
I'm going to take out as many
you know,
as I can and move them
they're
around
not that
myself,
expensive,
and
so
then take some of them
they're
and turn
decent
them around
miniatures to
where
try
they're finding
new
space
techniques with and whatnot.
Just go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Roll natural 20!
Over the period of him searching and distracting this man, you have completely rearranged the interior of this bookstore to the point where even in the far corner, like you Ghostbusters stacked them in the center of the room from floor to ceiling with him not even noticing it.
You little fucking poltergeist.
You feel confident and happy, and a sensation of approval washes over you. All right, so
I skip out the door.
okay. You turn around from having this conversation and notice the interior is not as you last saw it, and a bit of nerves begin to brew up under you.
Frumpkin, come on. Off we go.
And Frumpkin kind of follows up behind you.
Matt's got to make cat sounds now.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that till now. God damn it. All right. So as you guys have gathered at this point, the oranges and the pinks of dusk begin to peek through the quite cloudy sky. The chilled air of the coming cold night signaling the Crown's Guard to begin lighting the hanging lanterns that line the streets of Trostenwald. A renewed energy takes the streets as the sound of a fiddle seems to creep through the night air.
She's a master fiddler, isn't she? I love how your fiddle
Sound for all air instruments, right?
Oh my god.
By the way, DM, can I ask, sometime in the entire day when Not was getting wasted, could I have spent an hour using Arcane Recovery to gain back that 1 spell slot I used this morning?
Sure, yeah. I'll love it. All right. Folks begin to prod their heads out into the open air, curious about the source of this unusual din. And you find your vision capturing a small procession of flamboyantly dressed people parading through the central road. A lanky man of some obvious elven descent leads the pack, his long, kind of ashy brown hair curling ever so slightly past his mid-back, his long coat and tails knocking around by his skipping step. 2 halfling women in purple and green bodysuits dance from side to side, handing flowers to children and flyers to adults. As a bald man in a neck-frilled frock coat of bright red, his face adorned in vibrant orange makeup to look like the setting sun behind him, plays the violin that you heard earlier in an upbeat, jovial manner. A tall half-orc with a masculine man with a well-groomed handlebar mustache that curves out to the side, billowing white silk shirt and black trousers, follows behind with a big drum slung over his shoulder.
Zombicide Black Pig zombie. I want to paint up real quick here. Or at least put the base coat down
of
on.
lavender skin that you saw earlier walks along with a grin, juggling 2 curved scimitars as he walks in place. Almost loses one and catches it. Continues to go. Families are beginning to gather out to see this display. 2 dancers. A woman of... the 2 dancers part. And then a woman of short, fiery red hair and dark skin walking between them, lifting a small candle before... whoosh, a giant burst, a gout of flame emerges from the front of her mouth, brightens the vicinity, and everyone collectively gasps and begins cheering and clapping as they continue the walk. There, to the back of it, you see the rather burly-looking pale woman, arms crossed, just following behind and keeping an eye like a security guard to ensure that no business gets out of hand. The gasps and the cheers begin to follow, and as the procession continues, Down its way, the families and civilians begin to gather and follow behind. As the last bit of the sun sets behind the mountain range, the torches glowing, the procession curves through the center of the Lockward to the edge of the Ustalok itself. Through the fishing village, more folks begin to gather. Do you all follow?
Yeah.
All right.
And I cast Blessing of the Trickster on you again, just in case.
People following the parade, you see faces eager for this fresh form of entertainment. Children laugh and chatter excitedly, while the Crown's Guard, in their familiar bronze and vermilion uniform, try to maintain order between themselves, being quite curious or visibly mistrusting of these hooligans that suddenly have usurped the evening air. The procession continues toward the eastern side, out along the southern edge of this Lockward, to the Ustalok southern place, towards the new, completely constructed, large, dark blue tent. Lengthy streamers of white and silver flap with the cold winds from the top of the structure. As you guys walk, you watch as the horned tiefling you had approached earlier slowly saunters up to your side, you recognizing these individuals you had spoken with earlier.
I go, Molly! Molly, hey!
Oh, it's my
Hey!
favorites. Hello.
It's us.
We came.
I'm so glad you all came to see the show. It's going to be great tonight.
It's gonna blow you away.
The hype continues.
So you're gonna love it.
First show of a round's always the best, without fail.
But we're the best seats.
Well, I'm always partial to the front. Yeah? Okay, then you're right in it. If something goes wrong, it's nothing between you and whatever terrible, bloody mess is going to happen. It's just the best.
What?
Nothing, you're fine.
It's gonna be great, but before you go in, I do have to give you guys a pat down because you can't go in with any weapons.
At this point, a voice rings out behind you, and you see as the Carnival Master Gustav kind of glances over your shoulder, goes, you two, skip ahead quick. We need to go ahead and set up. Looks like we're already having quite a few people excited to come here. So at the door, interior to set up. Meet us at the front. Actually, you know what? You'll be on card duty. Need a little extra change on the side.
Card duty it is.
All right. Folks, excited for your patronage as he spins around and addresses the whole crowd now. It says, enjoy the night air, walk slowly. We need just a moment to set up. And the half-elf man kind of bows and tips his large, it looks almost like a top hat, but it gets floppy towards the top and kind of flops forward and puts it back on top and begins sauntering, continuing the music, but picking up their pace to get ahead of the crowd as they draw you all slowly towards the exterior tent. And that's where we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Faces on fire. Faces on fire.
I'm just gonna keep going. Do we really have to get up our weapons? Do you really have to give up our weapons? I don't feel okay with this. Okay.
Ashley, I'll do whatever you want. But if you take my weapons, I might kill you.
I'd like to see you try.
First and foremost, we have our winner of the White Oak Complete Dice Tower from our friends at Wormwood. The winner is GT Devoto. GT Devoto, Denova, congratulations. Denova will reach out to you and get your contact information. Everyone else, thank you for entering. We'll have more with each future episode of Critical Role.
Yay.
Thanks to our friends at Wormwood Gaming. Also, as a heads up for those who aren't familiar and those who may be, we have a Tuesday kind of after show that's called Talks Machina, where our friend Brian Foster Esquire, just mixing up all of his names. But no, those of you guys know him, Brian W. Foster, fantastic friend of the show, is the host of the show, and he'll be there Tuesday to talk about this episode tonight with some of the cast.
He's
so.
over to the side right now, staring
7
at
p.m.
it.
Pacific time on Tuesday.
Watching The Good Place.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Please.
Bringing us back.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow. Bring that ass back. Bring that ass back. Oh, bring that ass back.
5 dragons swoop down on
Yeah, he's already so hackneyed. As you guys begin to approach the outside of this large, dark navy tent, people are being inspected and ushered through by the well-groomed half-orc on one side and the pale woman, Yasha, who you met for a second time approaching the outskirts of this carnival, with entry fees being collected by both as people begin to pass into this large structure. A few feet off to the side, you see a small crowd gathered around Mollymock, who is sitting atop a small blanket and has cards splayed before him, a similar set that you saw Jester toying with earlier, and a farmer sits across from him, listening intently. All right, so, what can you tell me about this here cough?
How long have you had it?
Oh, going on like 3-4 months.
It looks like he's getting better. Oh yes. Does it feel like he's getting better?
Oh, right now, yeah, I did.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. I would maybe breathe a tincture or something. Let's. Yeah, maybe you should get that looked at.
Right. From who? What do the cards tell me?
Some sort of physician, perhaps.
Right, of course. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And he places a
Platinum dragon, baby.
stands up. Oh, dear, a physician! And he walks off.
Give me strength.
Well, what happened to
He's amazing.
no sick people?
This is outside the tent.
Yeah, he does not. Yeah, he doesn't enter the tent. He goes off the side.
Fair.
It's good to see you all here, though.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Some of us have weapons that we don't want to like pass away to other people. So how much of a chance is it that we could get through without having to do that?
Well, you can't see the show if you have a weapon on you.
Right. And we really want to see the show. But we are really good at security. Like, all of us are really strong. And, we could fight things that came up too. So maybe it would be best if you don't take our weapons and then we can help.
Actually, here's the deal. We'll make you a good deal. You waive our entry fee, and if anyone needs to be kicked out or any security needs to happen, we'll help you out.
Like deputy bouncers.
Like deputy bouncers.
Well, see, the funny thing about that, though, is that's my job. So
Sure, I'm not
So
discounting.
you want to hire us?
No.
You would be like our boss. Have you ever wanted to be a boss, like in charge?
Well, I
We
am.
could ask you for like days off sometimes.
A heavy, kind of greenish gray skinned mitt slaps onto Beau's shoulder as you glance over to see the large, well groomed half orc man standing there.
No,
I'm terribly sorry, but we've got it taken care of. If you wish to pay entry, you can, but the rules are the rules. So sorry.
Do they get stored in some sort of locker or something?
I hold them.
You hold them.
And if you want, I can stand right next to you guys. You can keep your eye on me the whole time.
She's very trustworthy.
That seems fairish to me.
Yeah, sure. Does that seem... All right.
I'm gonna go as I take his hand off. What's your name, by the by?
Beau.
What?
Good name.
Thank you.
Well, that's funny because your name is also Beau.
Really?
You didn't have to maybe let me choose when to tell people.
No, I'm curious about this. How do you spell your name?
Oh well, it's short for Beauregard.
Oh, mine's just B.O. Done.
That's unfortunate. I mean, it's great. Did kids make fun? Never mind.
It's not inaccurate.
And he kind of flicks the side of his mustache.
Yeah.
The pride.
Like, is his mustache especially BOE? Like, what?
Yeah.
That's really gross.
Make a perception check.
Ew. I don't want to
Get close
perceive
enough.
this. Good, I'm glad I didn't roll very
he's
well.
using
Can I make an insight check? Is he like a creep or is he just?
Make an insight check. Go for it.
Okay.
8. Thankfully, you're not in proximity enough to catch a whiff of his mustache.
Natural 20.
Natural
Seal
20.
ward.
Okay. Interestingly enough, he seems very well put together, and he seems like he's just fucking with you. He's having fun, and he's messing with you, and
Okay.
he's just casual and confident, and actually pretty well groomed.
Okay.
He doesn't smell, and he seems more just enjoying the discourse.
It's funny. See, my name's Beau because my parents wanted a son.
Well, if it helps with any other confusion,
Yeah.
call me the Breaker.
Oh.
Well, if you see the rest of the show, perhaps you'll see why I got my name.
He kind of cracks his arms.
I am.
Oh,
Towards
was he
the
in the show?
end.
Really?
No.
Oh, yeah.
See the show. Well then, pay up.
You see now the crowd's like starting to like queue up behind you pretty heavily. And
Besides, if you're going to enter, we gotta get through the rest of this ritual. Do you wish to join in?
Well,
all I have is a dagger, but I just hand it to this Yasha.
just one dagger?
Just
I promise you I will give
having
it
need
back.
for more. Yes, very good.
I promise you I will give you all of your weapons back.
All right.
Pinky swear me, Yasha.
I don't like.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now we're best friends.
Okay.
Here's my sickle.
I have,
return it.
I have like a staff, but I also kind of use it like as a walking stick, so I'd really like to keep it on me.
Can you not walk without it or
She
something?
has
Is
a
it-
really bad limp.
I just, sometimes like I get like a little twinge, like a little disc issue.
Can you hand me your staff so I can watch this? I want to see this limp of yours. Purely for my own entertainment.
Are you patronizing me, Molly Mock?
No, I'm hoping that you're going to patronize us.
Can I keep my stick?
How about this? I'll take it and I can just carry you to your seat.
How are you carrying all of these weapons?
Because I'm really fucking strong. You. Can I give him a pat down? Because you.
Sure, roll an investigation check. I'll give you advantage because you're really good at
I
it.
open up the coat just so you can see the books.
I don't think I find anything.
Right. Need to get.
You find 2 books
Some
and a
metallic
modicum of change
paint.
and nothing else.
Oh,
It's
metallic
actually pretty sparse as far as
Be right back.
collectibles and keepsakes.
I just thought your chest looked rather square, so I wanted to see what was happening.
Practically concave. Is it concave or convex? I forget.
Concave.
Concave.
Convex would be funny.
I'll hand her my short sword, but not my little crossbow.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check to try and hide that.
4.
Oh.
Oh, wait, 12.
We have advantage on that technically, right? This is dexterity checks?
Well, did you give me dexterity or just stealth? How does that work?
I think it's just stealth checks with the blessing.
Let me double check that real fast.
Ooh, we're going to the book.
What the heck?
This is we're playing first edition.
No,
right?
it is stealth. You're correct.
Yeah, it's just stealth checks.
You're sorry. Yeah. So
Sorry,
no.
I wish
So, yeah.
I wouldn't have said it and then you could have had advantage just then. But I'm not a cheater.
No, you're not.
Sorry about that.
Hey.
So yeah.
Out of the game.
You see him like slowly pocketing this crossbow.
No,
with-
no. Little girl,
I'm just a little girl.
give me your other weapon.
This is a toy for little children. All right, here. I'm sorry.
Are you keeping track of what goes with what person? Because it's a lot.
She's very good at this.
I'm very good.
All right.
I just dragged not like 5 feet over. That is 2 strikes against you. I think we should really just sort of enjoy the show tonight.
All right.
Okay?
But what if someone attacks us?
Well, I will handle that for you, okay?
All right.
Also, little girls don't tend to tell people they're little girls.
It's my first time.
When someone is a goblin in the middle of a town with people who hate
Stop
goblins.
saying the word goblin. People are going to hear you.
I mean, she's kind of right about
We can hear it right now.
Well, technically I dragged her away, but you know, D&D is funny with what is known and not.
I heard you over the earring.
All right.
R.I.P.
Wait, I didn't get your weapon. Do you want to stare at me all day, or do you want to give me the weapon so you can go watch the show?
It's an interesting choice.
It's not really a choice.
Sure.
And what do you pull out?
My falchion.
Your what?
A falchion, a large curved sword emerges from a sheath on his back.
A big,
It's a large
curved
sword.
sword.
Oh. Oh yeah.
I twist it around a little. I'll play with it. This
Don't
is
hurt
nice.
yourself.
I won't.
Very nice.
I like it. All right, would you guys like?
And you guys are you're going to hang out with us the whole
I'll
night,
hang
right?
out beside you so you can watch.
Make perception check.
All right, let that dry. Go back to
11. 11, that's enough. As she spins the falchion around, you notice that affixed to her back, in uncharacteristically clean leather towards the rest of her outfit, what appears to be a slung-over sheath and a very large bladed weapon, larger than your falchion, affixed to her back.
I just like how everyone says falchion.
It's just a word, isn't it?
It's pronounced falchion.
I'm going to pick up my cards in a very specific order very quickly and start stacking the deck.
Okay.
All right. Well, if you want to follow me, I'll take you to your seats and I'll stand beside you the whole time.
Thought you can lead the way.
Hey, Chester, before you go,
Yes.
well, tiefling to tiefling, and thank you for keeping this rabble in check.
Well, of course, you know, there are a lot to handle, but...
One on the house. And I pull 2 cards.
Yes? What are you telling me?
And I pull the moon, and I pull the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Does this mean anything to you?
Oh, yes.
Well, think about it. Put it away.
All right.
Bo.
Both are in the half-orc turn to you.
Little one.
We're trying to.
I just go over and I fireman style over my shoulder.
That's right, she's carrying it.
Since you can't walk.
Oh!
Just carries her right in.
And
Perfect.
I turn like back to them and to the rest of them. I'm just like,
Such grace! Such form! Such dignity!
The birds are out
At
already.
which point the other Bo the Breaker, goes ahead and collects 5 copper from each of you as you pass through. So mark off 5 copper from your, except for the 2 of you. You guys are part of the band.
If I skip around, can I be part of the show and then I don't have to pay?
Weirdly, being part of the show means you strangely pay more. I'm not entirely sure how that works.
Not, you have 5 copper.
Ah, for you, Caleb, I do.
No, I'm not asking. I was going to help you, but if you have it, you're good.
No, you've been spotting me all day. I'll take care of both of us.
Mollywop. That just is adorable.
Oh no. Highly entertained.
I like her.
I do too.
You don't have it.
So stepping in to the interior of the tent, the rocky floor filled with grass and dirt and various just flattened groundscape on the outskirts of the Ustalok. You can see a thick, heavy tarp-like material hitting the very edge where the heavy dark blue cloth hangs from the sides of the tent you're within. You can see where the seating is guided across the floor. And there, already in a very packed room, you see a few dozen townsfolk that have begun to gather in a semicircle. There's the entrance flap of the tent where you guys are walking in. As soon as you walk in, you can see a central pillar, a heavy column of wood, a tree that has been completely rounded off on all sides, held aloft to carry the top of the canopy of the tent itself. And across the way, you can see a larger flap tent that is currently closed that appears to be probably the performer's entrance. You can see above you 4 hanging lanterns that kind of glow with, seems like a flicker of light, but the pattern to them is consistent, meaning it's not probably natural flame. Children keep beginning to mash around the sides, and the space along the edges of the interior of this tent is starting to get a little cramped. Where do you guide them, Yasha?
Did you guys want to sit in the front row?
Yes.
What we were told
Yeah,
is the
really
best seat
good
in the
seat.
house.
Yeah. Sit in the front row.
So there's like, if you consider a semicircle pattern here, there's, if you're entering, you can go front to the right, front to the left, front to the center, and anywhere in between. Where would you like to be currently sitting?
Front and center? Or do you want to be on the sides?
Front and center!
Take him to the front and center.
Front and center, okay.
I'm going to keep my hand on my meager purse for the evening.
Okay.
As soon as I sit down, I'm going to pull out my sketchbook and draw the moon and the shadow card that Molly showed me.
Okay.
Moon shadow.
as we're walking over, I say, "Hey, Yasha," because I was kind of totally on your shoulder. Heard you talking about my friend, Chester.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't mean anything by it. I just.
No, dude. No. She's never mentioned a significant other, so I mean.
Oh, I'm not looking for anything. I just.
Will you hold me through the show?
Oh my God.
Cradle me?
I mean, that's an extra charge. We do that, though.
How much?
Well, it's an extra 5 gold pieces.
Gold?
5 gold?
These arms are worth a lot.
It's a very swaddling hug. You've never experienced anything like it.
It's gonna be
the full experience.
It's the best way to see the show if that's how you want it.
I'll give you 5 silver just to have your shrug to sit on so my butt's not on the floor.
I don't take off my shrug.
Oh, sorry.
How about you just keep your money and I'll put you in a chair and I'll just watch over your weapons?
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Yasha.
So she places you on the ground, as there are no chairs to hold you.
On the ground, I mean, because there's no chairs.
Oh, there's no chairs?
No, it's open floor.
I was picturing like benches. That's okay.
There's no benches? No, fuck.
Where are they going to transport benches from place to place?
Yeah, no.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Cross-legged on the
Worthwhile
ground it
carnival?
is.
I don't know.
Well, sorry, you have the fletching and moon drop
Bring
to
a
deal with.
cushion from home like a regular person.
So as the music has died down and everyone begins to kind of crowd and whisper to themselves, eventually it begins to quiet a bit, everyone having their seats. The familiar sound of the fiddle begins to play, and everyone quickly gets quiet, begins to come to a hush. The music seems sourceless in the interior of the tent. Everyone begins to look around to see where it may come from. You hear points of hushed looks pointing off in different areas, and at the top of the tent you see, seeming to stretch and fall, like a slow drop of water. The man in red you saw earlier descends from the top of the tent, but now dressed head to toe in a matching deep blue outfit and full makeup, to where he just sort of appears out of the canopy of the tent. He hangs from a rope by one foot. It's wrapped around and kind of clutched as his foot catches the edge, playing his violin ever so slowly as he carefully descends, and then at the last moment releases the rope and lands on his feet, continuing the music he's playing. He slowly spins as the longer-haired elf leader of the earlier parade that you saw, the one that had barked back briefly to your 2 new friends over here, enters the tent from the distant flaps, the performer's entrance. His head now sporting that same tall hat, flopping backwards at the apex. He extends his arms, removing the hat, and takes a deep bow as the crowd begins to clap. Ladies and gentlemen of Trostenwald, I am Carnival Master Gustav Fletcher, and allow me to welcome you to the Fletching and Moondrops Traveling Carnival of Curiosities. I ask you, each and every one of you, hear some children giggle as he kind of makes eye contact, grant us your imaginations this eve, but a trifle bit of time, and allow us to reveal a realm of laughter, mystery, danger, and beauty. I see you've already met Desmond. He gestures towards the man in all blue who's playing the fiddle. You'll be part of our story tonight. So keep a wily eye for the shifting fool. But first, I tell you a tale of 2 sisters of the Fae. As Desmond slowly leaves the tent, you see 2 armored guards by where he is now have entered, 2 of the Crown's Guard, of kind of stepping by the entrance where you walked in and kind of watch him pass. lost without
Hello.
form into the mazes of the underworld.
Finishing up a little bit here.
There, where the body would break, they found a teacher in a mystical serpent. And the gift they received was the ability to bend with this maze that captured them and slither their way back to the surface to reclaim their place in the world. May I present to you Mona and Yuli, the Knot Sisters. As he slowly backs through the performer's entrance, the two halfling dancers you saw earlier in the full-body suits emerge from behind the
These were just random toys that I found at the Goodwill by the pound. They were part of a larger piece that looked like kind of like just some sort of weird toy. I broke them off. They were like all empty and stuff. I filled them up with hot glue.
Leaps on the shoulders of the other, bending her back near
but I don't know what it was. I was not able to find out what the heck they are. But yeah, they were part of just a toy.
Cringe at the idea of the pain that would cause an average individual. But these halfling women are very nimble and able to create almost a single form out of two bodies. Their rigid form becomes fluid to the eye as they move and shift the music. The violin now sourceless once again, not seeing where this Desmond is placed, but they seem to move as it picks up speed.
I was expecting more Ringling Brothers, actually.
Suddenly, the top one folds over and slams into the ground, tumbling across the center in a wild display of physical control. The two of them begin to tangle and wrap like two battling snakes, their bodies seemingly disconnecting from the rigid halfling forms you had seen, and you swear for a moment becoming serpentine-like as they intertwine around the base of this pole. It's beautiful and violent at the same time. It's off-putting. And watch as they curl around the base of this pole. The lights above begin to become a dull greenish blue and get darker and darker, presenting this imagery of the underworld. One by one,
Kringle did a very good job on April 1st with that.
One and the other, one at a time, using their serpentine-like forms as this extending ladder, folding over each other as they use every muscle in their body to cling around this pole and ladder step up like a snake. It's a very strange but alluring sight, and you can't help but notice that you forget that these are two halfling girls, and you find yourself pulled into this wordless story they tell of climbing back their place to the surface, towards the dark sky of lightless blue cloth, as the baubles that contain the interior light of the tent begin to glow brighter and brighter. Their climbing become more fevered. The two of them, arm into arm, leg into leg, rolling up and swirling, until eventually at the apex they grab each other's arms around the pole before spinning downward, back to back, legs outward with a rapid pace, the music coming to a full crescendo. Like a maypole, they both curl and twirl and then tumble to the ground before the audience with a flourish, arms in the air, and the audience erupts in applause as they both begin to back away with smiles on their faces, nodding to each other. Gustav emerges once more from the performer's flap. The fool appears at the back entrance again, taking an ominous tune with his violin this time. His outfit, no longer blue, but deep set black. The hanging lights darken once again as Gustav takes the center stage. In a flash, beyond the ash, the gods all went and gone. The darkness came to grasp, reclaim, and suffocate the dawn. Suddenly, out of the darkness behind him, a burst of flame lights the room. But from that night, a burning light doth keep back shadow's bane. The strength to fight will set alight the morning sun again. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Orna, the Fire Fairy, and Gustav leaves the tent once more. As you watch, a pair of metallic fans, alight with flame, now frame the beautiful woman of short red hair you had seen before in the procession. Gustav slinks into the darkness and vanishes as Orna spins in a hypnotic twirl, her simple dress of golds and reds almost glowing in the firelight around her, the flickering of the flames giving her the visage of a warrior goddess battling the dark that surrounds. The frenzied fiddle of the fool picks up as she twirls the fans in her grasp, her face stoic and graceful simultaneously. The hush awe of the audience fills the air, watching this magnificent warrior strike at the shadows. The lights above flickering brighter with each spin and dive, banishing the shadows from the room. She matches the pace of the music, drawing to a crescendo and leaps and barrel turns that climaxes with her striking a powerful pose as the lights rocket to a victorious luminescence. Once again, the crowd goes crazy.
This is really different than the most carnivals that I've gone to.
Very artistic.
Yeah.
We get that.
Gustav enters as she exits with a bow, the fans flickering out. He enters clapping at Orna. A low drumbeat begins to beat in the distance as the fiddle grows tense once more. Even as the sun would rise anew, bellowing roars will quake the lands of Jorhas and beyond. Terrible beasts, now freed from their dark masters, scattered into our world. A terrible, guttural roar shakes the room, followed by the sound of grinding and dragged chains. From behind the performer's flap, the half-orc Bo, who you had met earlier, the breaker, and the fool, who is now still playing the fiddle, yet the bow of it continues to go on its own as he drags the other chain with his arm wrapped around his forearm. The two of them pull something through the flap. It swells, and from beneath it is revealed an enormous creature of green, scaled, slimy-looking skin and a corpulent form. Large toad-like legs frame a rotund torso and muscular arms that are manacled and pulling him in. It fights and struggles against the taut chains as he's pulled further and further towards the center of the tent, but is held in place by the two men. It roars a second time. The front row immediately pulling back and screaming. You hear kids begin to cry. A handful of townsfolk shoot to their feet, grasping their children in fear, preparing to run.
Have we ever seen anything like this before?
Yeah, what's it look like?
Well, he just described what it looked like.
Looks like a...
You know, by name.
It's corpulent, frog legs.
You have not seen this creature before.
Okay.
Gustav continues, seemingly unflinched by its approach. The devil toad crawls hungrily
Okay.
But what does it look like?
into the land of the free folk, lording over nightmares, as they say. And what truth lies behind the eyes of this beast? What would be learned when the guiding heart of innocence pierces the hateful soul and brings it to see beauty for the first time? I present to you the vivid voice of Toya. And as Gustav backs away, the devil toad struggling against the chains, a soft, faint voice begins to slowly emanate from the air.
That's not right. That's not right. Someone is shooting.
Eyes previously locked on the frightening creature now seek a source and find atop a platform within the chamber, high up on a small platform set against the apex of the pole. A young dwarven girl, maybe 12 years of age. Her braided golden hair clasped in her hands at her side, a white dress obscuring her feet. She sings with a mystifying, mature voice that pierces your heart with joy, unexpectedly and uncontrollably. The crowd audibly gasps as one. The entrancing song of this girl bringing every person into this music. The devil toad stops struggling against the chains, seemingly caught by the sound of her voice. Its face drops into a soft smile as it slowly walks toward the base of the pole and sits. The half-orc and the fool drop the chains and back away, leaving the beast free in this rapture. Her voice almost begins to summon a chorus from the ether. Nearly magical in nature, as there are no others but her joining into this piece. Her smile is infectious, and you can't tear your eyes away. You only now realize the tears down your cheeks, but you cannot break your gaze. From the front row of the audience on the left, a man stands up, his arms outstretched towards her. His dirty cloak falls away, his face and skin racked with age, and you see his legs shaking as he stands, his cheeks wet with tears. He shouts, "Ah!" His arms drop and clutch his chest. He gurgles a burst of vocal pain once more, and the folks nearest to him begin to lean away as he begins to shake. You glance over as the old man yells out once more, as the skin on his arm suddenly begins to tear, the bones splitting from the flesh, writhing, cracking. Dust and blood shake from his wounds as his form swells. Screams begin to ring out from the audience around him, people rising up and running for the exit. Chaos breaks into the room around you. Toya's song abruptly ends, the little girl looking down with fright in her eyes, the devil toad glancing about worriedly, the half-orc and the fool rushing up beside him to look at the transforming man. The half-orc yells, escorting patrons to the exit, "Everyone, leave the tent now! Kylery," as he points to the devil toad, "get her to safety!" The devil toad glances up and leaps with a sudden gust of strength to the top and grabs the center pole of the room as it begins to almost quiver to his weight. He grabs the little girl safely under his arm and leaps back down. What are you all doing?
I invoke duplicity.
You watch as her form suddenly dissipates into multiple, seemingly copies of her form of Jester.
Yasha, we're gonna need those weapons back.
I turn to Mollymuck. I go, I thought it was kind of lame at first, but this is awesome.
Everyone get out right now.
This isn't part of the show? I thought this was like really good.
People aren't surrounding the show. Do they always turn into monsters?
It's too artsy.
Weapons, yes.
The old man's body stops quaking, his flesh now gray and mangled like an ancient tree trunk. He turns, his eyes blood red and bulging, his lips curled into a horrifying grimace. The two Crowns Guard begin to try and make their way through the panicked crowd, but the people, like a wave of chaos, are keeping them at bay. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh! The miniatures come out, guys!
I rolled a natural 1.
That bodes well.
So you guys, this guy is actually over here. You guys are all up here in the front.
Oh yeah, we were right in the fucking front row. Oh my God. Look at us, we're so cute.
Oh my god. So pretty.
We're all gonna die.
Probably.
Oh,
But
God.
then the third campaign begins.
Yay.
Wow.
Okay.
I like the tents and donkeys outside. Amazing.
Oh, look, Taliesin's a Bardo.
I love little Bardo. I
Oh
love
my
a little Bardo.
God.
No, go for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so 20 to 15.
21.
Oh. All right.
Oh wait, 22.
Nice. 15 to 10.
10.
10.
12.
13.
Oh wow.
All right.
11.
And then, sorry, 13 and then 10 and 10?
Me 10.
12.
Sorry, 12.
11.
So Yasha got 13. Then we have Ford. And then 11. And then we have
Don't
not
die.
10 for not the brave.
At 10.
Oh my god.
And what'd you get?
5.
All right.
I rolled terribly.
That big battle.
Oh, up there, right there. There we go. Okay. So,
No.
top of the round, as this creature turns and kind of glares about in the area, this swollen form over here to the side, that's what remains of the old man who had stood up in the center of the chamber. Jester, you're up first.
Who's fighting?
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go for it, alright? I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt on the monster that just appeared.
Okay, as it turns towards you, it's a saving throw, correct? Or is it a...
Let's find out. A flash of light strikes. You make a ranged spell attack.
Range spell attacks. Go ahead and roll for attack on that, please.
Okay.
Magic. You're using magic.
Oh,
That's
well,
cocked.
it's cocked.
It's cocked.
It was 20 and then it
Cocked.
rolled.
It is cocked, yeah.
You said
You're cocked.
That's 11 plus. What do I add to
Your
my
spell-
Guiding Bolt plus 5? So 16.
16 hits, go and roll damage.
Yay. 4d6.
Yasha, you're almost on deck, so do it.
Okay.
Hey, how to D&D?
18.
Sorry, it's super late here. I had a bunch of technical issues, so
Attacks.
this is a pretty boring stream that I'm just about to finish up right now. I'm painting up a black plague zombie side miniature here.
So yeah, it was a 18.
Gonna give this guy a little bit of wash with some paint,
And then I'm going
I
to-
believe that is going to be it for the
I'm
day.
going to run the
gonna be strong
opposite
tone.
direction away from him, but I'm going to keep my duplicate up there.
Okay, which for your duplicate, I should go ahead and grab some.
Oh, you've got toys.
Whoa.
What's in the
That
bag?
backpack's almost as big as my dice bag.
Almost. I was like, oh, that's right, you can do this. So I need to pull out. We'll say for the purposes of this, your, there we go, we'll pull you.
Oh my god, did you actually do this? Did
This
you
will be
do?
your duplicate, wherever you want
Okay.
wherever you want to move it from where you are.
Okay.
So shimmy it there.
So she's going to stay here.
Oh my.
And Jester, I can't reach that far, but...
Oh,
Oh, shit, sorry.
Miniature.
Let me know where. Okay. There?
Sorry. I didn't realize it was like...
You can get there as the closest. the furthest
Okay, that
one.
sounds good.
Okay, so that ends your turn. At the top of your turn, this creature closest to one of the people nearby screaming, this young woman who's trying to back away, she just turns toward her and grabs and tries to tear into her with 2 strikes.
Whoa.
The first one, that is actually gonna miss. She ducks out of the way and begins crawling across the ground as it goes for a second attack. That, however, does hit. Yeah, it's a 16. That'll do it. So with 8 points of bludgeoning damage, it reaches down and slams its fist into her chest, and as it does, she kind of gives out this horrible yelp as it kind of rips into her and begins gnawing into her flesh and pulls away with a mouthful of it and then stands up, its eyes now scanning the room for the next possible victim. It's going to begin to stalk forward. Coming up to that guy. All right, Yasha, your turn.
How close am I to them?
I actually like that. He looks pretty cool.
Right there. You're pretty close to everybody. You could distribute with. You could use your action to toss your weapons, the weapons out to everybody this turn.
I like that guy. These are good miniatures.
I'll pass my weapon.
Cool miniatures or not, have come
So you
a
spend your
long
action
ways.
kind of throwing them out to
Yeah.
the individuals. So your short sword and crossbow kind of clatter to the ground, and you quickly scramble
I
to
got these
grab
on
them.
sale at Mini
Caleb's dagger
Market,
falls at his foot.
Miniature
Your staff
Market.
gets tossed quickly from behind
For
you.
super cheap.
Your falchion meets your arm.
Falchion.
All right, that ends Yasha's turn. Ford, you're up.
Can I run up with the falchion
You may.
within melee?
You actually walk through.
That's a falchion.
You rush through Jester's form. You watch the kind of image kind of dissipate as you kind of charge through it and meet up right face to face with this large, kind of gnarled, horrible-looking creature. What are you doing?
Ripping the falchion, can I swing into the creature?
You may.
Okay.
Oh, God. And you get advantage
I do?
because I had...
She's getting bolt.
Yeah.
Thank God, because that was
Nope.
1. 18.
18 hits. Good roll damage.
Nice.
It's a real fight.
Yeah.
Oh man.
8, 9, 10, 11.
11 points of damage.
Got like a dozen hit points. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that ends your turn. All right, you're done. That brings us to Caleb.
I would like to use my movement to push as far into the crowd as I can.
Okay, going through the crowd is
half movement.
It's half movement.
That's
It is
fine.
considered rough
Sure.
terrain. So
I
you
just want people in front of me.
push through to about there. You end up like pushing a kid out of the way.
That's great. That's exactly fine with me. And I will pull out the diamond and cast Chromatic Orb. And
What?
I will send a ball of cold at the creature that Fjord.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and make a spell attack.
Yes, here it comes.
Watch out for Fjord.
My goodness. That is a 17.
17 hits. Go roll damage.
Okay.
Isn't Chromatic Orb like a really strong spell?
No.
There's like chromatic
Prismatic
spray.
prismatic wall.
Yeah.
Chromatic is like the
It's like
the starter version.
That is a 9. 9 of cold.
Nine cold. All right, it's very well done, Caleb.
Cold damage, yeah.
I like it.
Now is the
Okay.
part where we dance.
So as you turn, as you push the child out of the way, putting your pocketed diamond out in front of you, you focus and you watch as this beam of light blue energy streaks past, just barely coasting between
Yeah,
a few
see,
heads,
this new camera
slams into this
stinks.
creature, as crystals kind of
But
form
also
where the
we can
wounded
look at
impact
this.
was.
No, can't even fucking see it.
Cracks back into place where it was. End of your turn?
That's good, I'm great.
All right,
Yeah.
Not, you're up.
Okay, having seen the beautiful dwarven girl, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who sang and soothed a monster earlier in the show, I'm going to attempt to sing and soothe this monster.
Okay.
So I step forward and I open my mouth and I say, and I will always soothe you.
Can I shoot an arrow at?
He's killing the memory of
Can't let that go.
Make a performance check.
Performance
Nah,
check.
can't live.
Oh, it's really good!
It's really good.
18 minus 3, so that's 15.
Okay. As you're singing out this discordant sound, nearby folks are covering their ears and glancing back and looking in surprise at this strange creature giving off this.
Does it
this
die?
horrible- no. However, it now ever taking a few hits nearby, its red eyes, or at least one red eye, like slips over to look in your direction. That's as much of an effect.
Fuck!
You want to move, or are you gonna stay there?
Yes, I'm gonna move and I'm gonna dash behind somebody in the crowd, some weak-looking individual.
Okay. Get behind there.
Yes, that
Okay.
sounds good.
All right.
That's
That
our MO, baby.
Bob, you're up.
Oh shit. Okay.
Do it.
To kind of like RP my tragic one on the first fucking battle. All of it. I'm just gonna kind of turn to everybody and go, guys, it's part of the show. Molly said that like people die, like she was just a clack. Okay, and then I run and I'm gonna kind of like tackle the zombie guy.
Okay.
Can I see if I can grapple him?
You can certainly on the first
Down?
attack. Go for it. Go ahead and make an
Yeah, so
acrobatics
this guy
or
turned out
athletics check,
okay.
sorry.
Burger King toy.
Yes.
Oh god, do I keep that?
Focus.
Yeah.
Focus, dang you.
It's not
Burger King toy. Obviously, I did a bunch of green stuff
7.
to fix him up so he looks
With your
less
first
like a
strike,
toy and more
the
like a
creature
miniature.
breaks
I
away
did
and
not do a
strains
very
far
good
more
job
than
on
you
this
imagined
seam
would
here
before.
because it
Presumably
was
a very
just.
kind of elderly looking
It's just
frame.
too much work, and I didn't want to put in that much work on this guy. So I think this guy will look okay at the table.
Fuck that. I don't
Very
know if
nice,
that's true. And I'm gonna do
classic
flurry blows.
Lord of the Rings giant.
Pop, pop,
Painted him up.
That's unarmed,
Not going to do much
right?
more with him.
pop, pop.
That is correct. And I believe.
Okay. Right? I do 2. Okay.
Yes,
And,
you're using your key points to do
some
that.
tentacles,
So,
which again I had to
first
fill in
one
with hot glue.
Plus 6. Okay. First one's 19.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess around with these too
First
much.
one's
So
20
these
total,
turned out
And
okay.
then the second one is
These are just
15
random
total.
toys that I
Alright.
found that I actually broke off like a little playset thing. So I think these look okay.
Not great. Not great. Their D4s are just like fancy D4s. Yeah.
Yeah, these were there's big gaps
that
in these and
is
stuff.
4, 8.
They still look okay.
11 points of damage. Pop, pop.
Between both?
Yep.
Great. So
yeah, I'll have to coat these
away,
with some spray in
pull
the
back
morning,
and then leap,
and
the
then
chest and then
coat them
uppercut
with
it in
some
the chin.
gloss coat.
Looks back towards you.
And of course, the random miniature that I decided to do, the zombie side, Black Plague, random NPC set, which I believe is like notoriously plagued characters or something like that. NPC set, a lot of cool zombie guys.
A little ways forward to there and there. Everyone just shifts.
Turns out pretty good. Minimum effort on this guy.
It's really a hazard.
These miniatures are great for using.
Caleb and Not, I need you both to make dexterity saving throws.
This is going real well.
That's a 9.
15. Oh, pretty good. That is 17 for me.
All right, you've both managed to just bob and weave through the crowd to prevent being trampled and kind of backing away from the chaos as people are pushing through. The entrance is too small for everyone to leave, and there's now a giant bottleneck that's beginning to push up as people are now screaming and trying to get out. They're crying, and the chaos is just swelling into this absolute cacophony.
I'm trying out the
As
new
soon as that finishes,
wet pellet here, which is very nice.
The devil toad carrying the dwarven girl who was given a decree exits out the back with her to get her to safety. These two begin to slowly back away, seeing that at least things seem to be handled, and the guard's making its way and are like looking scared at each other and not really knowing what to make of the current chaos. At that point, you watch as the woman whose chest was torn into by this creature suddenly snaps up into place.
Oh shit. Oh. Okay, we have to keep them from being dead.
Okay.
Oh no.
Top of the round, Jester, you're up.
Oh God. Okay.
Sorry, no,
I was about to say.
Oh.
What was your initiative again?
10.
10. Oh shit,
10.
you totally. That's right, yours not. That's what happened. That's what happened.
That's all right.
So Molly, you go ahead and go. Your turn as well. My apologies.
I'm going to yell to the back, open the tent wide, and I'm going to pull. How far away am I?
You're right there. You're like in the middle of the crowd as it's swarming around you and Yasha.
I'm going to run around and see if I can flank that creature, if I can move towards flanking that creature with the other two.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can't really flank it, but you can get next to it.
All right, can I get close enough to take a shot?
You can, yeah.
So
you kind of dodge through the...
Well,
old
take
habit.
the old habit. Old habits run deep.
What you do, Molly?
As a bonus, I'm flipping it out, and I'm going to activate the first sword.
Okay, so you watch as Molly pulls the scimitar out and kind of, as he unsheathes it, draws it across the side of his exposed chest, causing a little bit of blood to kind of spill out. And as it does, he pulls the blade out, and you watch as the edge suddenly, ice crystals begin to build on the outside of the blade.
And I'm taking a shot at the creature.
Okay.
Taking a shot?
Taking a slice. Taking a slice.
Taking a stab.
A stab. So that
But
would
with
be
bullets.
Oh, yeah, with bullets.
Ooh, that's good.
That's 21 to hit.
That hits.
All right, and that's not bad. That's 8 points of damage and 1 point of ice damage.
Okay, so 9 points of damage in the first strike. Yep.
That was my bonus.
Oh, sorry, your bonus, yeah.
turn,
That's all you got.
Yep.
Okay, so one strike, you just cut across, and you watch as you cut this wide wound open, and kind of exposing the fleshy organs interior, but they're frozen where the wound cut through, and it's still holding it together. It's looking like it's starting to hurt a bit and fall apart slightly.
This is the bigger monster?
So it's
Yeah.
I'm fine?
Yes.
All right.
So that ends your turn, Molly. Brings us to the top. So Jester, sorry, back to you.
Oh no, now I'm worried.
Just do it. Make mistakes.
Just do it.
I'm worried about
No one's watching.
undead. I don't know. Well, I don't think I would know this, so it's okay. I'm going to say to the air and say, dude, are you here? Because this is like the coolest shit we've ever seen. And then I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on the first zombie creature guy. And there's a bell that tolls around the area.
Toll the Dead.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Fucking rad, dude.
He has to make a wisdom saving throw or take 1d12 necrotic damage. Which is what I think.
Natural one.
Whoa.
Go ahead and roll a d12.
Get him.
Oh, 3. That's
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
2 points of necrotic damage. So as this suddenly this deep kind of temple bell boom rings out in the air above, you watch as this creature who has turned and is beginning to just wail upon the surrounding allies that are curling at its sides. It kind of seems to retract from the sound and cover its ears briefly before angrily begin lashing out in
And
reaction.
I made that sound like it was coming from my duplicate.
Correct.
And my duplicate's going to run back a little bit and stand next to the pole.
There?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Man.
Is that your turn?
Yes.
All right. The standing creature that's now been kind of sliced, bludgeoned, and wounded by all three of you is going to go ahead and make 2 strikes at. I'm going to roll randomly to see who it goes for. That's going to be at Beauregard. It swings at you twice. Both of its giant, massive clawed fists just kind of striking out towards you.
Ew.
The first one is 17 to hit.
My armor class is 17.
Whoa,
so
that's
17,
it.
right?
Yeah. 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
This first one just wham slams you in the chest. You feel the wind knocked out of you for a brief second. The second swing is going to come at you. That is going to be a 20 to hit.
Yep. That
Thing's
hits.
swinging hard.
And that's going to be 6 points of bludgeoning damage to you.
That's rough.
Wow.
Don't worry about it. I'm bad.
After it slams into you once with the fist, and the other one grabs into your stomach abdomen region. The claws kind of dig in, and its jaw unhinges and slightly drops like a snake's.
I turn to Fort and I go, I'm not a clown.
Alright, well, I think that was worth
show's
wasting the time to mess around with that a little bit, make him look
the other one
a little bit nicer.
Is going to rush forward towards you.
Get a little bit more highlights in there. All
to
nice.
And is going to take one swing at you.
Yeah, no.
What do you know?
I'm going to use Blood Maledict.
Okay.
Let's look a little bit.
Okay, so you're using a reaction.
Yeah, using my reaction.
We don't have to roll anything for it. He just has disadvantage on the strike.
Oh, that's right. 'Cause I'm not doubling it up.
That'll do it. He rolled a 16 and then a 4.
Yep. Never mind.
So as it swings towards you, you watch as suddenly the reddish burning eyes of the second creature go black. And it goes way too wide and misses you. You easily duck out of the way with its first strike. As it runs past
That's pretty cool. I like these.
You get an attack opportunity.
Zombie side, Black Plague.
Swing around.
I'm very, very impressed with this. Alright, so those were all my miniatures for this
16 hits,
evening.
go roll damage.
Man, this was a long thing. This is,
That's 12 points a day.
wow, well over
With that,
2 hours.
Brief opening
That's
as it rushes
crazy.
past Molly Moth.
Usually
After
I
its
don't
eyes
take
go
this
black,
long.
you watch as
Obviously,
it
I
stumbles,
shouldn't be doing
its
these
vision
late
ruined.
night
With that moment, you
things.
swing out with your.
But yeah, no, I'm happy enough for the work I did.
falchion. Thank you.
These look
Yeah,
okay.
it's falchion, that's right. And strike
I think
across
these
the back of its shoulder. You see
Tentacles
this
are
once,
were a very
once
good
was
purchase,
this kind of
obviously.
beautiful woman,
It
it's
cost me
swollen,
pennies,
horrible, undead
and
form, lumbering
this worked
past
out pretty good.
and
And the zombie side guy
heavy chunk of
turned
meat
out
off
okay.
its shoulder.
And
It
the
curves around and makes a second strike.
troll here turned out okay as well.
This one without advantage.
So that is it. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a very nice evening.
You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage. As the first one